Does the sting of a stolen championship ever truly fade? Or does it just calcify into a burning need for revenge? Welcome back, everyone. We need to have a serious, heart-to-heart conversation about the state of the Toronto Blue Jays as we stand here on February 3rd, 2026. The snow might still be on the ground in Ontario, but the heat coming off this front office is enough to melt the ice off the CN Tower. To understand where we are going, we have to rip the bandage off and look at where we've been. We are still living in the shadow of the 2025 World Series. We were right there, one win away. The trophy was practically being polished for a parade down Yonge Street. And then, the Los Angeles Dodgers took 2 straight games to snatch the crown. But it wasn't just a loss, folks, it was a robbery. We need to talk about Game 6. That lodgeball call is going to haunt this franchise for decades. Remember the play? The ball gets stuck, or so they said. The ruling was a lodged ball, yet the center fielder had absolutely no issue picking it up and firing it back in. As one observer, Andres, rightly pointed out, the fielder didn't even make an effort to grab it immediately, yet the umpires bailed them out. It was a momentum killer. It was a technicality that felt like a dagger. That call didn't just change an inning, it potentially swung the entire history of Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays might have gotten screwed, plain and simple. That level of heartbreak creates a very specific kind of atmosphere in a locker room. It creates a vacuum that can only be filled by one thing: absolute, undeniable dominance the following year. Now, fast forward to today. The front office isn't sulking, they are plotting. We've seen a productive offseason, but the rumors swirling right now are about to turn this league upside down. We are talking about a potential $200 million move that signals to the rest of the American League East that Toronto is not just trying to compete. They are trying to build a dynasty that leaves nothing to chance, not even the umpires. The target? A World Series champion, a southpaw ace, and a man who brings as much baggage as he does brilliance. FRAMBER Valdez. This isn't just a rumor, it's a statement of intent. The narrative here is shifting from what if to who's next. The pain of 2025 has transformed into the aggression of 2026. We are looking at a team that refuses to be defined by a controversial call in Game 6. They want to build a rotation so formidable that no single bad call can ever derail them again. But is Valdez the savior, or is he a stick of dynamite thrown into a fragile ecosystem? Let's dive deeper. Why is a team that won 94 games and reached the World Series desperate to spend $200 million on a single arm? To answer that, you have to look at the geometry of the roster. The Toronto Blue Jays possess one of the most fearsome rotations in baseball, but it has a fatal flaw. It is completely lopsided. We are looking at an all-right-handed rotation. In the modern game, where analytics departments are dissecting launch angles and platoon splits down to the millimeter, entering a season without a high-leverage left-handed starter is like entering a boxing match with one hand tied behind your back. You might survive the early rounds, but eventually a lefty-heavy lineup, think the Yankees with their short porch or the Dodgers with their endless stream of MVP candidates, will expose you. This is where the FRAMBER Valdez connection becomes more than just a luxury. It becomes a tactical necessity. Mark Feinsand of MLB.com hit the nail on the head. Toronto clearly has money to burn. We saw them make a serious, legitimate bid for Kyle Tucker. That money didn't just evaporate because Tucker went elsewhere. It's sitting there, burning a hole in the pocket of ownership, waiting to be deployed. The front office knows that to get over the hump, to erase the memory of that Game 6 lodged ball disaster, they need a different look. They need a ball that moves differently, a release point that disrupts the timing of the league's best hitters. But there is a deeper layer to this strategy, one that looks beyond just the 2026 season. We have to talk about the cliff year. Look at the contracts. Kevin Gausman and Shane Bieber are slated to become free agents next winter. If you lose one or both of them without a succession plan, you aren't just taking a step back, you are falling off a cliff. Signing Valdez isn't just about winning the 2026 World Series, it's about stabilizing the rotation for 2027 and beyond. It's an insurance policy wrapped in an Aces uniform. Historically, the great rotations, the 90s Braves, the 2010s Giants, always had balance. They could hit you with power righties and then dismantle you with a crafty or overpowering lefty. Toronto is trying to replicate that formula. They are trying to construct a pitching staff that is immune to matchups. Imagine a playoff series where you have to face Gausman, Bieber, and then just when you get comfortable, here comes Framber Valdez with that heavy sinker from the left side. It's a nightmare for opposing managers. But this tactical brilliance comes with a massive asterisk. We aren't just buying stats. We are buying a human being, and the reports coming out of Houston suggest that this particular human being might be a handful. Is the tactical upgrade worth the potential clubhouse volatility? Can a clubhouse that prides itself on chemistry survive a player who allegedly went rogue on his own coaching staff? This is the climax of our story, folks. This is where the rubber meets the road. On paper, Framber Valdez is a titan. He is a World Series champion. He has the pedigree of an ace. He was projected to be the top starter on the market for a reason. But we have to look at the red flags that have clouded his free agency. This isn't just about elbow tenderness or spin rates. We are talking about insubordination. Reports indicate that Valdez seemed to intentionally cross up his catcher last season. Let that sink in for a second. In the heat of battle, in a game built on trust between the pitcher and the catcher, he allegedly went off script on purpose. Furthermore, there was a willingness over the summer to openly question the Houston coaching staff. That is terrifying. You bring that energy into a locker room that is still healing from a World Series loss, and you are playing with fire. Jordan Campbell noted that these issues are exactly why the Astros, a team that knows him better than anyone, were hesitant to pay him top-of-the-market money. Now, the Blue Jays are poised to pay that premium. It's a high-risk, high-reward scenario that could define the next 5 years of this franchise. Let's play out the scenarios. Scenario A. Valdez arrives in Toronto, motivated by the contract and the change of scenery. He respects the veteran leadership of the Jays, slots in as the premier lefty, and dominates. The lodged ball controversy becomes a footnote because the Jays steamroll everyone in the playoffs. The $200 million looks like a bargain. Scenario B. The season hits a rough patch, which happens to every team. Valdez disagrees with a pitch-calling sequence. He rolls his eyes at the manager on the mound. The media in Toronto, which can be ruthless, latches onto the drama. The chemistry fractures. Suddenly, that $200 million contract becomes an anchor that drags the ship down. The fan base is split right down the middle on this. I'm seeing comments everywhere. Half of you are screaming, "We need the talent. Who cares if he's difficult? We want a ring." The other half is saying, "Don't ruin the culture. We got to Game 7 of the World Series without him. We don't need a headache." It's the classic debate of talent versus character. But here is the reality. The Blue Jays are in a window where good enough is no longer acceptable. They were good enough to get to the World Series, but they weren't good enough to overcome a bad call and the Dodgers. Valdez represents the chaos factor. He is the wild card that could either burn the house down or light the way to a championship. So, what is the price of a legacy? Is it $200 million, or is it the courage to make the move that scares you the most? As we wrap this up, let's look at the big picture. The Toronto Blue Jays are entering the 2026 season hungrier than ever. The pain of watching the Dodgers celebrate on their dime has fueled an off-season of aggression. The rotation as it stands is elite. It could carry them deep into the postseason again. But deep isn't the goal anymore. The goal is the trophy. The goal is a parade. Adding Framber Valdez might prove to be the most impactful free agent signing of the entire winter if it comes to fruition. We are looking at a franchise that is tired of being the nice team. They are tired of being the team that almost wins. They want to be the villains if that's what it takes. They want to be the team that walks into Yankee Stadium and silences the crowd with a shutout. They want to be the team that forces the league to adjust to them. The potential signing of Valdez signals that the front office believes their window is now. They aren't worried about 2030. They are worried about October 2026. If this deal goes through, the Blue Jays will have arguably the best rotation in baseball history on paper. But games aren't played on paper. They are played on the field, where balls get lodged in gloves, where umpires make bad calls, and where pitchers sometimes shake off their catchers. It's going to be a roller coaster, folks. It's going to be stressful, expensive, and possibly explosive. But isn't that exactly what we want? We want stakes. We want drama. We want glory. I want to hear from you. This is the most important question of the offseason. Do you sign Framber Valdez and risk the chemistry for the talent, or do you trust the group that got you to Game 7? And while you're at it, let me know in the comments, do you still lose sleep over that lodged ball call in Game 6? Because I know I do. Smash that subscribe button. because this story is developing fast, and you won't want to miss what happens next. The road to the 2026 World Series starts right now. Let's play ball.